Now you're welcome back. So we're turning our attention to the GG Cahir Senior Final yesterday. Dublin beat Cork to win their fourth in a row, 110 to 1-5 the final score. Second half was where Dublin really kicked on, and we're very happy to say the Dublin goalkeeper joins us now, Ciara Trant. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very well. How you doing?
I'm grand, yeah. On top of the world, really.
Not a bad weekend. You lot are certainly making up for some lost time and some heartache over previous years, to say the least.
Yeah, I suppose when the season's finished, you can look at it that way, but it didn't really come into it this year compared to other years. I think this year was just so different with everything going on in the world that it was just go out and play football and enjoy every minute. The heartache didn't really figure because there's so much more heartache in the world and so much more to care about right now, you know?
To be fair also, when you've won 3 in a row, I'm not sure heartache is really the theme of going for 4 in a row. I mean, you know, you're doing all right now. Nobody has sympathy for the Dubs anymore. The heartache story's over.
Yeah, and now it's kind of like we're definitely the chased. And people are, today I was reading people comparing us to the men, which is, huge for us, for anyone to be compared to them. So, yeah, it's about just to make sure nobody catches us now.
Yeah. No, keep it going. We'll be splitting you in 2 in the next 4 or 5 years if you can keep it, if you can keep it going. So, what about celebrations then in COVID time? Did you book a function room away last night, or was it home to houses, or what was the crack last night then?
Yeah, just straight after the match, everybody went back to their families and just kind of celebrated with them personally, and then we met up as a team and we just, I think there's 55 of us in total. We just had a few drinks together, nice and quiet. Very different to what we're used to. But it was very intimate and it was very nice. I think everyone was very grateful to just be with each other and to sit back and relax finally. Yeah,
well, I guess in some ways, and not that we would want it like this every year or even many other years, but it's a different way to celebrate, as opposed to going off where there's lots of people around, lots of hangers-on, people get the drinks in, half of you, you get split up into different groups. There is a certain intimacy about a quieter event.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we were saying last night, that usually at the banquet after a match, you actually don't see girls on the team. Girls you've soldiered with all year, you don't actually get a chance to properly celebrate with them because you're with your family, with your friends, with other people's families, and then, everybody else that comes along on the night, and it can get quite messy and everybody gets split up. So it was really nice that it was, you got to see your family, and then it was with the people that you soldiered with all year.
55 is a big old team. What's that, 30 players, 25 backroom team? Is that the gist?
Jeez, I actually don't know. If you were to list off everybody on our management team, you'd be surprised the amount of people that are involved. But yeah, it'll be obviously our panel members, and we've extended panel members and management. So there's a big crew involved in it.
So let's talk a little bit about the game and get your perspective on it. At half-time, for Dublin to walk off with just 3 points was awful, and no reflection on the dominance, and really it should have been at least double that. What was your perspective watching from the other end of the pitch as chance after chance or moment after moment wasn't capitalised on?
Yeah, I think they got scores on the board early on, their goal gave them a massive boost, and we were just wasting chances. We had 3 scores from 12 shots at half time. And it's just we were making simple mistakes that was giving Cork energy and zapping ourselves with energy. So we were very disappointed that we were working hard, that we were, negating their threats, yet not punishing them. And we felt that it wasn't Cork dominating us; it was us making mistakes. So we were a bit disappointed at half time, yet we knew that we were playing within ourselves, and that all we have to do is turn it on. Unleash the performance we've been waiting for all year, and we knew if we did that, Cork weren't going to cope with us. We felt we had more to give in the second half than perhaps they would have.
Yeah, I think a lot of people felt that way looking on, and for anyone who didn't see the game, Dublin's running game up to a point in that first half was absolutely brilliant, you know, and we've seen it for years from you guys where you've got pace and you've got power, and you know that was still there on show, and you seem to get up around the D, and Cork, in fairness to them, had a packed defence, and at times they were swallowing you guys up in the tackle. Other times, like Carla Rowe, Sinead Ahern skied efforts they wouldn't usually sky. There were a couple of goal chances. There was one, I think it was Noelle Healy just wide. I think Noelle gave the ball away twice in ways you wouldn't see her do in the next 5 matches in a row. And it was all just, you know, that lack of composure can almost build a momentum. It looked, watching, like half-time wasn't the worst thing at all to happen to Dublin, to get in, and maybe for Mick Bowen and all of you to sit around and say, look, we're clearly in here. We just need to pick that last option a bit better.
Yeah, I think we were forcing it in the first half. We were definitely in front of the goal. We were trying too hard. Rather than keeping the scoreboard ticking, we weren't getting anything on the scoreboard. We were forcing goal opportunities rather than saying, look, a point in this situation is still a good score.
And Ciara, is it hard on the pitch to get that message out? So, like, you're watching it, you've got a nice bird's eye view in some ways, and you can see, like, I think there was one effort on goal which was hit far too early. It was well saved. There were one or two other efforts on goal when a point was on, and it's admirable to go for a point. But is it hard to get the message almost out to say, here, can we just take a point or two here, everyone? Like, I would presume on an All-Ireland final day it is hard for you if you're thinking that, to get that up the pitch.
On a normal All-Ireland final day, definitely, but yesterday not so much. Like, you know, we communicate up through our lines and stuff, so we were trying to get that message up, and then the water break actually definitely worked in our favour, right, in that we kind of changed our system of play and to a more kind of attacking style. We kind of threw off the shackles a bit, and although we weren't getting the results from it, Cork weren't getting anything on the scoreboard either. Yeah. So no, I don't think communication was necessarily an issue yesterday. I think we probably just needed a couple of minutes just to compose ourselves, and obviously you don't get that in the middle of a match. Yeah.
Second half then, way better. Far more comfortable viewing from your point of view, I suspect, and you got to see the quality that really is there. And 110, I mean, that was a really nice score. 1-7 in that second half is very decent going.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think back on it now, I spend most of the match on our 45-metre line because our forwards just pinned them in, hounded them, didn't give Cork any oxygen in the second half. I think, you know, from our forwards being disappointed in the first half, they really stepped up and they changed the game in the second half. You know, they made up for it, and there's a reason we won yesterday. You know, I think, yeah, like Cork only scored 2 points in the second half, but that was a great defensive shift, but it was driven from the intensity in the tackle that our forwards were putting in. And as a defensive unit, when you look up and you see your forward line working their asses off the ball, you know, that gives your backs so much energy. So it was, you know, they lifted us, you know, from full-backs, half-backs, watching on. They gave us a massive lift, our forward unit. Yeah, it was a brilliant second-half performance. You know, it was the kind of performance you dream about when you're going to win your fourth in a row. And yeah.
Deireadh O'Sullivan said it pre-match, actually, that Dublin are ahead of the rest when it comes to their fitness, and it was on show again yesterday. You're obviously working incredibly hard as a group. We got a glimpse of it in that documentary a couple of years ago, but it seems like you're taking it to new heights, or the years are, you know, you're accumulating more and more fitness with each passing year, because you're the fittest women's team that have ever played the game, I would suspect.
Yeah, we feel fit, we look fit, but I think compared to other years, that has been kind of an individual kind of effort. Since we've come back, there hasn't been a massive emphasis on fitness, on strength. You know, our strength and conditioning work has just been to keep us ticking over and to maintain the levels we're at. Everybody worked really, really hard over lockdown and those periods and through club football, and we came back flying fit. Right. So, you know, I think there's massive respect to individual players for putting themselves in such great shape, and I think that just shows the attitude in the team, the drive and determination that away from the group and away from football, and the hunger that's still there.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do those shuttle sprints in a group as opposed to on your own in April.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So do you have to be as fit as the outfield players, or can you get away with Dawson over on the side?
No, I don't get away with any of the Broncos or the 1Ks. I'm very chuffed to say that I won a Bronco this year after lockdown.
Okay.
I think the rest of the girls have caught up with me since now, but no, you don't miss out on anything like that. I wouldn't like to be the goalkeeper cheating all the hard work and going off and doing your own training when the girls are getting their legs run off them. But I think, you have to be mentally fit, you have to be physically fit as well. And for your team to know that your goalkeeper is putting in the hard yards with you, it's a lot easier to run. Like for me to scream at them to run and work harder, they can take it when they know that I've done those yards with them in training. And
they clearly trust you as a ball player as well. Like there's plenty of times they'll go back to you and use you as a link in a chain to find their way out of trouble if Cork are putting the press on. So you're obviously working on that side of your game very, very hard as well. What are the kind of responsibilities you feel are most important beyond the obvious of shot stopping?
I'd say shot stopping is probably the least important responsibility of the goalkeeper in the modern game. Like you have to nail your communication, you have to nail your kickouts, and you have to nail your high ball. The rest of that is, like yesterday, I think I might have had maybe 13 kickouts, probably the fewest in any game this year, or over the last couple of years. One shot on goal, and it was a cracker of a shot as well. The rest of it was communication. So shot stopping is the least of my worries. The main job is distribution and restarts. Yeah, I don't think Stephen Cluxton had a save to make, for instance, on Saturday. It's amazing how the position has changed. Yeah, he hasn't conceded a goal championship this year. That's huge. Yeah. In fairness to you, there wasn't much you could have done about the goal. Sometimes you have to say that's a hell of a strike. It was, yeah. I think if I saved it now, I would be living off the glory of that for the rest of my life. But no, thankfully, I can say it was a cracker of a shot. Really well finished. It was a great move. They completely opened us up for that goal. But yeah, I'm kind of satisfied enough that it was a good shot, and there was not much I could have done. Do you, I don't know how it works in the Dublin scene. There's such a collective intellect there across all the various teams. Is, for instance, Stephen Cluxton somebody that you encounter, ever have a chat with, try and pick up bits from, or do you have your own goalkeeping coaches that you tend to rely on instead? I only ever meet Clucko on nights out after All Ireland finals. We have a bit of a heart-to-heart then, but no, I work very closely with Ryan O'Flaherty from Athena. He's been the goalkeeper coach the last 4 years. We've such a good relationship, and then we've gone through so many goalkeepers the last couple of years. At the moment, we've Karen O'Connell and Abby Shields in, and they're fantastic, and we all have matching personalities and bounce off each other, and our training sessions are always so driven but so full of fun and enjoyment. But yeah, no, I owe a lot to Roth, definitely. Like, anytime I make a mistake on the pitch, I never feel like I'm letting the team down. I always feel like I'm letting him down. And whenever I do something good, or something we've really worked on in training, we've gone after, if I could pull that off in a game, it's always, a little nod to him on the sideline. He's just, everything I do is completely driven by him. He's been fantastic for me. Well, listen, congratulations again. You guys play such a brilliant brand of football. It's a joy to watch. 4 in a row, an amazing achievement. What the lads are doing at the moment is almost kind of overshadowing in a way, like it distracts, where you have to stop and think. Everyone was going bananas when they did 4 in a row. So to do 4 in a row and counting is an amazing achievement. So congrats, enjoy it. Best of luck here in 2021. Hopefully it's a more normal year ahead. Yeah, hopefully. Thanks very much.